Yeah, this is the dumbest thing I've ever done.
So I guess trying out for the Milwaukee Bucks' new G League team, the Wisconsin Herd, isn't the best idea. My parents always taught me that if you don't have anything nice to say, you don't say anything at all. So I'm kind of in a tough spot here, because how do you recap this Packers loss without talking about Mason Crosby's 5 missed kicks?
This is absolutely nuts. This is what you have been waiting a long time for, especially here at Wrigley. What is this moment like for you?
Yeah, this is it. You know, this is the reason we work all off season.
That's the Packers' new special teams coordinator making it very clear things are changing in Green Bay. They better. That was 18 months ago. We had no idea what Brewers pitcher Jimmy Nelson was in for. What looked like a minor shoulder injury, it turned into a 1.5-year recovery that still isn't over.
Kevin, let's just throw Chicago baseball out for a second. The Cubs, the White Sox, both gone. The Brewers would be 37-16 in that world. 37-16. That puts them on pace for 113 wins in the regular season.
Who could have seen that coming? John Henson hit 2 threes in the Bucks' home opener at Pfizer Forum after making just 1 in the last 6 years.
It's a sold-out half practice here, because that's really what family night is. It's about 50% practice and 50% kind of like recess in elementary school, where everyone's just sort of running around doing whatever they want. Mount Pleasant, Michigan. A population roughly 3 times smaller than Lambeau Field on game day, but this is where it all started for new head coach Matt LaFleur.
Greg Council listens, pulls Jeremy Jeffress from today's game after just 3 pitches.
From the year that Miller Park opened until now, I've been here, 100, 200 times and never seen anything quite like this. The grounds crew really did a phenomenal job turning the baseball diamond into the soccer pitch. And why wouldn't you be excited about that coaching tree, since the top of it is Sean McVay, who of course has his Rams right here at Super Bowl 53. Live in Atlanta, Scott Grodsky, CBS 58 Sports.
Drug dealing at 12, in and out of jail by 15 or so. Where would you be if not for basketball?
I don't know. I think I'll be in the cemetery or in the penitentiary.
It's a long road from 14 arrests to 14 years in the NBA. Racine's Caron Butler was speeding down a bad path until solitary confinement helped him turn his life around.
And I was 23 hours down in the cell, and I had 1 hour to have rec. I had to take a shower. I had to get all that in and go right back to my cell for another 23 hours, sun up, sun down.
23 hours in a cell at 15 years old, day after day. Just think about that for a minute, because thinking is really all Caron could do.
I remember my 4th grade conversations with my teacher. Caron, you're different. You can be special. I remember being kicked out of, school, and, my grandmother being there, my auntie being there crying, pleading to the school board to give me another chance. I remember my mother, running me off the block. Police officers just like, man, just stay off the block. You're gonna die, man. Like, something bad is gonna happen. Like, all these conversations just, boom, just hit me at once.
He reached a crossroads. Take the right turn and get a fresh start. Take the wrong turn, and Caron knew exactly where he'd end up.
I think the biggest thing is, people that you played in the sandbox with and people that you seen on a consistent basis, they're no longer here. I think going to the funerals and, seeing people that was just next to you, now all of a sudden they're laying on their back and they're looking up at you. And you're looking down at them, and that could have easily been you in that situation. Right now, as I'm talking to you, I see individuals that, I had to help bury, and the reality of all that set in. And, I knew I was destined to do something else.
Something else turned into making more than $100 million in the NBA, Harvard Business School, and a permanent job as the role model of Racine.
This is a promise that I made back in 2002. I said when I get out of here, I promise I'll be back, because it was so many people that I idolized and I looked up to, and when they made it out, they just never came back.
He's lived up to that promise. We went to his childhood home where everyone has a story about Caron Butler, whether they played with him, want to play like him, or watched him grow up.
He's like almost like a god to some people, because he really comes back and he gives back to the community. Caron has done a phenomenal job in the Racine area, especially for the children.
And the kids can be like, he came from where I came from. Like, I can do it because he did it. I'm no different than you.
Karan retired from the NBA this year, but that's not the end of his journey. He's already gotten the green light to start his second career as a broadcaster.
Yeah, they didn't have the footage, so I'm good with that.
Reporting in Racine, Scott Grodsky, CBS 58 Sports.
Yeah, this is the dumbest thing I've ever done.
So I guess trying out for the Milwaukee Bucks' new G League team, the Wisconsin Herd, isn't the best idea.
The last time I tried out for a basketball team, I got cut in middle school.
Well, you're probably still going to get cut from this basketball team.
I got a little work to do.
Dave, I've only had a couple shots and shoot around, but I feel confident calling you boss already. Where do you see me fitting into the lineup?
If you don't get hurt today, I think we had some success.
The Herd welcomed nearly 80 athletes and me to an open tryout before their first season in the G League.
We're gonna get one.
And it didn't take long for my game to set me apart.
Pure inspiration with the way that you play the game, absolutely.
After making it through drills without collapsing, it was time for the second phase of the Herd tryout, scrimmages. Through 20 minutes of out-of-shape action, I'm proud to say I did make it onto the stat sheet. 1 rebound and 1 awful turnover later,
I bet.
it was time to find out if I made the team.
Well, Scott, this is a really tough part of my job, but not everybody can make the team. It's a limited number of roster spots. So unfortunately this time, Scott, we're going to have to let you go.
My day ends early, but the rest of the players in the gym won't give up as easily.
It would mean the world to me. Since I was a little kid, I've always dreamed about playing professional basketball. I mean, I have so much heart for this game, so much passion for this game, and I just want to. It'd be awesome to hear back, so I'm hoping for the best.
It's amazing, the dedication of some of these players. We've got guys that have flown in from all over the country to do this, which is amazing.
Many of these athletes have put their entire lives into basketball just hoping for a chance like this.
Definitely a dream come true, especially I'm a Wisconsinite. I've been away from the state for quite a while now, and to come back and be able to play for a great franchise in the Milwaukee Bucks and their G League, it's really exciting.
Unfortunately for most of them, the day ends with one of the toughest conversations in sports.
These guys are putting themselves out there to come and do an open tryout with the D-League team, and so you never want to be the person that has to do that, but unfortunately it is part of the job. It needs to be done, so you do it clean, you do it quick, and it's just very matter of fact.
But for a lucky few, this could be the start of an incredible journey.
Mount Pleasant, Michigan, a population roughly 3 times smaller than Lambeau Field on game day, but this is where it all started for new head coach Matt LaFleur.
You go from the stadium at Mount Pleasant to the stadium up north. Wow.
Quintessential All-American, clean-cut kid who had quite a drive and a desire to be successful.
You don't have to look far to see where Matt's drive and competitive spirit came from.
I don't want to lose, ever.
That's Mom.
Win, damn it!
That's her win, damn it doll. She throws it at the TV when things aren't going so well.
That's the purpose of it.
I would play cards. She'd win, and I'd throw the cards.
And that's Dad. Combined, Denny and Christy have more than 50 years of coaching experience. So it shouldn't surprise you to learn that Matt grew up as the typical coach's kid. He was the high school quarterback and point guard, a captain who led by example throughout his high school, college, and professional careers.
That's him right there. He was a coach as a player. And I think that's the best description I can give him.
So when you see that and the Packers helmet right next to him and the front page, what goes through your mind?
We all did a good job.
He had some type of mission or something in his thinking that this is what I want to do.
We followed him as a leader from that standpoint because he took the reins of the football team. There was never any question about that.
Touchdown, Saginaw Valley!
Once he was ready to hang up his cleats, Matt didn't have to look far to start his coaching career. He stayed right here at his alma mater, Saginaw Valley State University, becoming an offensive assistant, the first step on a long road towards becoming head coach of the Green Bay Packers.
Anytime you have a player that goes right into the coaching role, there's that unique transition. Can you still talk to him like a friend? Do you have to call him coach? Those simple things, but it was really natural.
It wasn't like, oh, I miss playing football. He just went right into that role with really no problem at all.
Matt rose quickly, going from an offensive assistant at SVSU to an offensive coordinator at Ashland. That's when he got his big break, a chance with the NFL. Of course, that chance meant a pay cut of $25,000 and dropping back to the low man on the totem pole with the Houston Texans. But the gamble paid off because 10 years and 6 jobs later, here we are.
They just moved from northern Michigan to Ashland, and now they were moving to Houston. So she's moved a lot.
Yeah, I believe she said something like 11 times. This is the 11th move. I said, let's make this the last one.
When you hear Matt LaFleur, head coach of the Green Bay Packers, what do you think?
I wish it was me. I'll be honest with you. A lot of people would just love that one shot and say, I wish I was doing that. And I'm an old coach. Yeah, I would too.
I'm really proud of what he's done, but more importantly, I'm proud of who he is as a person, and he's never lost focus of where you come from and who you are, because that really is ultimately the most important thing.
Denny and Christy were in Green Bay when Matt was introduced as the new head coach and said they were blown away by how similar the NFL's smallest market felt to Mount Pleasant, and that they love that it just has that hometown Midwestern feel to it at Lambeau Field.